two radio stations were closed down, pro-opposition radio stations. I mean, armed policemen were sent there and shut down the radio stations, ostensibly because they had not renewed their licenses. And it happened at a time when the opposition was doing a major press conference, and these stations were carrying the press conference live. And so at that moment, the radio stations were attacked and closed down. And when the authorities who closed it down were asked, they said, oh, it had nothing to do with the press conference. It was just a coincidence that they were shut down at the time the press conference was taking place. But I believe that the role of a regulator is to build, not to destroy. And so if they haven't renewed their licenses, it's your duty to remind them you haven't renewed your licenses. And eventually you must even give them notice and give them a deadline. Say, if you don't renew it by this date, we'll shut you down. If you've done all that and the correspondence is available and you show it to anybody, people will understand. But then the point is there are more than 300 radio stations in Ghana. Why those two? And those are the leading opposition stations. And so you definitely, I mean, you don't need to be a clairvoyant to know that, I mean, definitely there were political reasons behind the closure of those stations. And so it's unfortunate. The president has prided himself in being a human rights campaigner, and I don't think that things like this should be happening under his watch.